What's up, guys? My name is Joowan Park. I go to Greenup High School, and I'm going to be attending Stanford University next fall as an economics major.
What made your Stanford application stand out?
I think what made my Stanford application stand out was definitely one of my extracurricular activities. I ran a tutoring business internationally, and I think it made it really obvious that this was one of my interests and my passion. And I even got a letter back from my admission officer saying that this was one of my best activities that I had.
What high school clubs were you mostly involved in, and how did they help you?
Yeah, I was mainly involved in two clubs, Science National Honor Society and Greenup Ambassadors. I really want to get into Greenup Ambassadors because I think that's just the best club I've been at Green Hope. I was mainly leading orientations, leading first year tours for freshmen and sophomores, and I think it really made me stand out in my application because it showed my character and my values as one who genuinely cares about my community.
What are some extracurriculars you recommend over the summer?
I definitely recommend a passion project over the summer. I personally did a passion project, like I mentioned, tutoring over the summer, and that was just the one thing that I worked on. And not only is it just really fun, like I really didn't care too much about college apps. I just did it for the love of the game, but it's also like really shows your character and really outstands you as an applicant because all these other people are doing formal applications, formal ECs, but you, on the other hand, are just taking the initiative to start something on your own.
How do you deal with academic burnout or stress?
First off, I don't think you should really be dealing with burnout or stress because you genuinely care about that project, right? So I think first you should really find something that you really care about instead of doing it for the college apps. Like for me, tutoring was not really something that I struggled with burnout or pressure. Yes, it was difficult in a couple of ways, but I was really able to find, a lot of fun stuff within tutoring. And because I really genuinely cared about helping other people, I think it was really easy for me to not lead to burnout. So I think my advice is just find that activity that you really enjoy doing.
How much do you think GPA and grades matter?
I think GPA and grades are definitely extremely important because at the end of the day, this is a university and they want you to become an academic weapon. But I think it gets you into the doorstep of admission. But after that, you really have to show and sell yourself as an academic weapon with your essays, with your extracurriculars, and other parts of your application. But if you go to Common Dataset, just search up Common Dataset and the university name, you will see that there is a graph and there's a data for which the schools finds the most important things within the aspects of your application. And almost every single one of them ranks GPA and grades as the number one. So I do think they're really important.
What are some activities you did out of school for fun?
I had a lot of time outside of school, so went to the YMCA, hit the gym, went to sauna, connected with a bunch of people, and I played volleyball outside with my friends. I went to church, played guitar and drums, and I also read a lot of books.
What's an underrated resource you used throughout high school?
I think one underrated resource was definitely Wake Tech. People say, it's a GPA game, but at the end of the day, it is sort of a GPA game because GPA does matter a lot. And taking Wake Tech really allowed me to boost my GPA, even with all the AP classes I was taking.
Looking back at it, do you wish you would have done anything differently throughout high school?
Yeah, one thing I wish I would have done differently is I wish I wouldn't have worried too much about taking the SAT early on because I thought knocking it down earlier on would have been better, where in reality, just taking a junior year or even like early senior year would have been fine because college app starts in like September. You got to submit them around the rough timeline of like December. So I don't think it really matters too much as long as you take it, as long as you take care of your grades, your ECs, and your essays earlier on.
What are your thoughts on high schoolers starting nonprofits?
I think it's amazing that people are starting nonprofits, but I think it's really obvious for these admission officers to see if you are genuine or not. So one advice that I would give for other students, and I myself started a nonprofit for refugee students, I'd say do something that you really enjoy and do something that you genuinely care about, because that way you won't have to worry about pressure. You will actually gain the results that you want, and you will show and prove to the admission officers that you care about the community. Hey, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more.